All right, can we talk about what went wrong in this game?
Would you like to?
It sounds
Brock
like you have
fucking
something.
Purdy. Brock Purdy is what went wrong in this fucking game. Everybody that's been in the comments attacking us because of our fucking bad takes on Brock Purdy, this is the prime example of why he's not fucking elite. I
Brock
said
Purdy was
I'm
the worst
calling him
player on the field.
average right now. I said he's a decent fucking NFL quarterback. He looked like a bad NFL quarterback in this game, and his offensive line didn't play up to par, and he did have a lot of people pressuring him. But if you want to be called an elite quarterback, you need to be able to deal with that. And he was missing targets left and right. He was throwing balls at receivers' feet. He had 3 picks. I don't remember, but
3.
like
Three.
the one in the end zone to Jaden Hicks was absolutely abysmal.
Bad.
It was directly to him and an area that was clearly covered. Like just didn't see our guy there apparently because there's no other explanation. Like Brock Purdy, poo poo on Sunday, average quarterback for today's NFL. All right,
Now,
fuck.
and I'll bring in this caveat because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he lost his main targets, right?" Like Brandon Ayuk is now done for the season with an ACL tear. Debo
Whoopsie
Samuel was out of the game after 3 snaps because he was
for
sick,
bloating.
right? And then you go, okay, well, elite quarterbacks are going to overcome that. And then the argument could be made, well, Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay wasn't making plays. No, if you go back and you look at the film and don't look at the box score, you'll see that Patrick Mahomes' passes were hitting receivers in the hand and they literally weren't coming down with it. What's the difference? Well, when I look at the film that Brock Purdy decided to put out on tape for Sunday, he wasn't hitting receivers in the hands. He was throwing into double and triple coverage. He was throwing the interceptions. He was missing wide open targets. He looked like Russell Wilson out there when Russell Wilson played for the Broncos. Maybe worse. So like
Definitely
there's a
worse.
Which
difference.
that was positive touchdown to interception ratio, 26 touchdowns. Like he was mid for quarterbacks that year. Russell Wilson
Yeah.
was. He was
So
mid.
yeah. So Brock Purdy, not
Mid.
even mid.
Mid
Not even
he
mid.
looked
Below.
terrible on Sunday, but again, going up against a really good defense, like you got to expect some mistakes. Just not the blatant let me throw it directly at a Chiefs player. Let me miss Kittle in the dirt. Let me blow this wide open receiver and throw an overthrown pick. Like what? Pause. Sorry.
I was like, whoa.
But anyways, Brock Purdy is average, man. He's not. He doesn't deserve a Trevor Lawrence or a Dak Prescott type contract, and neither do they. Like
Calling somebody not elite doesn't mean that they're bad, right? Like we sat
Dak
here and
Dak
said that
Prescott
he's
has a better regular season resume than Brock Purdy at this point. Dak Prescott has 2 bad seasons under his belt. One derailed by injury, but like he for a couple of seasons, the Cowboys offense was the number one offense in the league.
Are we going to see a lot more of this out of Brock Purdy for the rest of the year? The Chiefs ran the highest percentage of man coverage against the 49ers all year with like 66%. So without Ayuk for the rest of the year, Debo's still struggling with injury, sickness, and everything like that. And then Christian
George Kittle
McCaffrey's
doing
still out.
nothing. Christian
He did
McCaffrey
something.
out.
He did something this game. We'll get
George,
to that in just the tips.
well, because he was
But
like one of the only guys that Brock could throw to. But
yeah, but if every team starts playing them man, is Brock just going to struggle the rest of the year
They don't
and look even
necessarily
worse than he
have
has?
possibly,
an
like
easy schedule coming up either.
he's
Like
nothing
next week,
special.
next week they've got the or the next time they play, which will be this week, they play the Cowboys, right? And so that they'll probably get back on the horse after that. But shortly after they play the Bucks, and then they have the Seahawks, and then they have the Packers, the Bills, that Bears defense, which is really good. They'll have a rivalry game against the Rams all before they play the Dolphins. So maybe the Dolphins won't be back on the horse by then. We'll see. Tua is going to be back, so who knows? But then you also have the Lions, and then another rivalry game against the
They have a
Cardinals. Like
yeah, they have a
they
tough
have
schedule coming
a
up.
tough schedule. And if Brandon Ayuk is out for the season, George Kittle ain't doing really a whole lot. CMC's not going to come back. Who knows what Debo's going to look like? And Brock Purdy playing very pedestrian esque, if not worse. I don't know if this changed. Again, he's not elite. Before Sunday, he was above average. But if he continues to play like he did, like worse than we thought he is, he's going to start going down, and maybe he's not going to get that contract. Maybe somebody will wise up and not give a contract to a quarterback who doesn't deserve it. I don't know if that'll actually happen, but
It'd be refreshing.
there might be a new trend if that happens, because there should have been a trend set with Dak Prescott, and that didn't happen. And maybe we just get that refreshed view with Brock Purdy.
I sure hope so, man. I'm tired of this shit.